What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. You know, it's articles like this that really put a smile on my face. YouTube stars create content without woke lectures. You know, we've been talking about the Rippaverse for a very, very long time, and I know that I believe he's getting close to starting to finally send out some of the books. So I'm looking forward to getting that. But there's another guy here, Shadiversity, who I just started discovering from watching all of the House of the Dragon material that's been out there. He's been on a couple of shows and channels that I watch, and I've noticed this guy, and he had a little crowdfund thing going, and he's starting to build up his brand, writing books and things of that nature. I am excited about this because this is something, again, that is vastly and vitally needed in this entertainment space. You know, we need folks that are just like, hey, we're just here to entertain you. You know, no agendas, no politics, none of that crap. We're here to give you entertainment. That's what's exciting about this. So let me read through this real fast here. It's talking about the, as they say, Rippaverse and Shadiversity arm consumers in the fight for culture war supremacy. It is an absolute culture war, folks, okay? I've said this before. It's a culture war, and the battlefield is the internet, so go at it. All right, so let's go ahead and read this article, and this is on Hollywood in Toto. There is a broadening market for cultural criticism on streaming platforms like YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Fans outraged by the wokening of their favorite childhood properties like Star Wars, Disney, and Lord of the Rings of Power, Prime Video, are letting their voices be heard. The further Hollywood producers drift from the source material, the less they care about being true to what the intellectual property creators envisioned. Absolutely. None of this stuff is even close to what the original creators came up with. And we're talking about like the George Lucases of the world, the Stan Lees of the world, okay, that created some of the great characters of our generation. None of this stuff is even close to that. J.R.R. Tolkien, who's he? Oh, well, this is some guy that wrote some books once upon a time. He has a big IP with a lot of followers, all right? Let's hijack the IP, right? That's what they do. They hijack the IP, and then let's start just making stuff out of it. It doesn't matter if it's true to the game. It doesn't matter if it's true to Tolkien or if it's true to Lucas or any of this stuff. Nah, none of that matters, okay? Because the only thing that they're doing this for is to get bread out of your pockets, okay? They're coming to get your money, and they know that you, and like myself, are fans, and that's the reason why they're doing it. The more they use these properties to push their personal political agendas, the more they turn off the very generation that can afford to buy their merchandise and support their endeavors. Yeah, people ain't supporting this stuff. Absolutely not. In short, they are getting woke and going broke. And here's the thing about it, because a lot of the guys commenting on my videos, and I appreciate you guys 100%, and they say, hey, just give up. Just give up. You know, why bother? Let them have it. It's ruined. It's over. Let them have it. Don't watch it. Don't buy it. Don't support it. And I get that. And in a lot of ways, I absolutely agree with everything you're saying. Hey, you know what? They messed it up. I don't want it no more, and I won't put a dime towards it to support it at all, okay? But there's this part of me that says, why? Why do we have to let these cats off the hook, okay? Like, you poured your 20, 30, 40 plus years into a franchise that you have loved, that you have collected, that you have spent hours debating and arguing with other fans, okay? You've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into this along with some money, okay? Why should we just let them come in and just snatch it out from under us? You know, that's what I don't understand. You know, we were the fans of this stuff when it wasn't even popular to be fans of it. You know, we were fans of Marvel and DC. We were fans of Star Wars and Star Trek. We were fans of this stuff before it became popular, before it became the end thing to do. That's the thing that really irks me the most. It's because we were the ones who loved these franchises and built them with our love and with our passion. So, you know, why should we let them take it from us? Okay? Yeah, it's a culture war. We're not just going to lay down our arms. We're going to actually come at you, criticize your bullshit, criticize this garbage. That's what we're going to do. Okay, at least that's how I feel inside. I don't feel like just letting go. No, you want to race swap everybody? We're gonna call that out. I'm calling out your insulting race swaps, your crappy cash grab remakes. I'm calling it out. Why should we not call it out? Hollywood is taking what we love and they have absolutely destroyed it. So, and when I call it out, I'm not just going to be an emotional wreck. No, I'm going to call it out with facts, logic, and reason. I'm going to explain to you why it's trash. What they're also doing is creating a void for the investor generation, people with full-time jobs and expendable income. They absolutely are. You know, I got some expendable income. I got a little bit of money, okay? And my buying habits have absolutely changed over these past few years. Absolutely. But what happens when that generation, eager to buy a limited edition Darth Vader statue, has been so insulted by Team Disney, they'd rather do anything but support the mouse? I'll tell you what happens. The Ripperverse. That's what happens. It says here a handful of these critics have taken to developing their own intellectual properties. The stories are written from their based conservative worldviews, and they're sold to their fan bases and like-minded consumers. But here's the thing, guys. Here's what it is. We go hard all week long, right? We work, we grind, we hustle. You know what I'm saying? Some of us work 2 jobs. Some of us working overtime, right? Because we got to put our kids in a good private school, not some crappy woke public school. We're not doing that crap. So we got to put our kids in good school. So we're working, right? Okay. And plus we got all our problems. We got problems at home. We got problems on the job. We got problems in our community. We got all kind of stuff that we're trying to do. We're juggling, putting on multiple hats. All right. And, you know, we deserve to be able to come home and kick off our boots and grab a drink and lean back and enjoy an hour of entertainment and escape from all of the nonsense that we deal with without somebody crying, oh, you know, well, my show is a commentary on the Trump regime. You know, like, nobody asked for that crap. Nobody's asking for that. I want to be entertained right now. I want to hear about, oh, here's our story about the evils of patriarchy or whatever. Like, nobody's here for that. Nobody wants your hyper-feminist bullshit. Nobody wants your CRT race-based nonsense. Nobody's asking for that. Pushing diversity for the sake of diversity. Like, no, nobody's asking for that. So why are you giving it to us? And here's the thing, because their ideology is so intertwined in the way they made this show and the entire creative process behind it, that if you don't like the show because of valid things like poor writing, crappy acting, right? You know, bad storytelling, you know, bad plot points, terrible, boring characters. If you don't like it based on that kind of stuff, you're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a misogynist. That's why you don't like our show, you know? Because they made the entire show through the lens of race and gender and all this other kind of crap. So if you don't like the show, that's the reason you don't like it. When we projected all of that into our show, the reason you don't like it is because you're against all of those things that we put into the show. Okay? It's not because the show is bad. No, it's because you're really a racist. Because you're really a misogynist. It's like the entire reason that their little bastardized version of your show even exists in the first place is not because they're trying to do some credit to George Lucas or J.R.R. Tolkien or anything like that. No, they're just trying to push their woke crap on the people, and they need your IP to do it, okay? They're not here to tell you a good story. They're here to push gender and racial politics. They're here to preach at you. And honestly, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't care that much if they did that with their own crap. I wouldn't. Like, make it all you want to, okay? I wouldn't care that much if they did it with their own stuff, okay? Because we already know it would die on the vine, all right? This stuff cannot get off the ground without a powerful, strong IP that wasn't built by them. We all know that, right? They didn't build it. It was built by us, by the fans, by the creator of the show, and then the fans that flocked to it. They know they need the popular IPs. They need the franchises that were never, ever theirs, the franchises that they never could build. Okay, they could never build it. They don't have that kind of creative energy. They need that stuff. Deep down, they know that their dumbass ideas would never get off the ground, okay? They need the popular IPs to take off, to make this crap take off, and they know it. They know it deep down. They know that they need this stuff. They need the franchises that were never theirs, that they never build or could build, okay? Like, imagine for a second that, you know, you live in a nice neighborhood, right? And you and your neighbors have spent years, you know, cultivating the neighborhood, building it up, keeping it clean. Everybody mow your lawn, make sure it looks nice and everything. You've done all of that work, constantly doing the work to make sure that your neighborhood is a nice place to live, right? That's what you've been wanting. You want a nice place to live, and you've put the work in to make sure that it's a nice place to live. And then one day, one of your neighbors sells his house, and then some moron, some jackass moves in and just tears the neighborhood apart. There goes the neighborhood. That's what they all say, right? That's basically what's happening here. Some dude that never did anything to make this neighborhood nice just moves in and starts destroying the place. And then when you try to call him out on it, he go, well, you know, I bought the house and I live here and you got to treat me nice. No, we don't have to treat you nice. You're an idiot. Yeah. So we're going to come at you 100%, and we're going to do it constantly. So when they come out and they talk about Ripper and Shadiversity, you know, creating their own properties and their own intellectual properties themselves, I'm excited, right? Look, this is the parallel economy. This is what we've been talking about, right? This is the alternate universe where like all the woke crap don't exist. Woke entertainment doesn't exist and can't exist over here, right? Okay? This is the path to victory. This is how we win. These guys making their own intellectual properties. This is how we win. We got to dominate this stuff. We got to dominate this space. And let me say this. It's not enough to just buy the books, buy the merch, send the super chats. All of that stuff is important. I'm not saying that it's not. But it's not. That's very important. Okay. But that's not the terminal goal. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. Okay. Everything that these guys are doing must become a part of the culture. It has to become a part of the culture. It has to get the same validity and legitimacy as the mainstream stuff that you guys watch all the time. Readers are probably familiar with Eric July's Rippaverse, the indie producer's first project. The graphic novel ISOM broke crowdfunding records. July has promised to produce a comic book universe to take on Marvel and DC giants who many say have left their traditional fans behind. ISOM is one of the best-selling graphic novels of the year, and yet the woke media refuses to grant it attention. You know, the woke media, we're going to start doing the other, there's going to be a parallel media too, right? That promotes the good stuff. Why? Because July is the left's biggest nightmare, a conservative black man with an audience. Well, and the thing about it is, you know, when the woke media is refusing to grant it attention, that just gives us more of a leg up, okay? Because we're covering the stuff they refuse to cover. Great, okay? I'll take the views and the subs, no problem with me. Thank you very much. Says here, Ripper has spent more than a decade growing an audience of center-right, conservative, and libertarian fans who have watched Hollywood attack the icons of their youth. And then comes Shadiversity. Not overly political like Ripper, Shad Brooks is a YouTube personality with more than 1.4 million subscribers across 2 channels, Shadiversity and The Night's Watch. I actually didn't know about this guy's channel, but I've been watching it for the last couple of days, and it's actually pretty solid. It's just a regular guy making videos talking about, armor and swords and things of that nature. And it just like, kind of critiquing what we see in fantasy shows and everything like that. I love his material. It's actually kind of cool. Brooks' Night Watch lets him comment on the latest fantasy and sci-fi media and dissect the writing quality and woke agenda that has infested most of what comes out of Hollywood today. Yeah, like I said, we got to support these guys. We got to make this stuff as legitimate and valid as the mainstream stuff that we see every day, okay? It says here he built his second channel and more than 100,000 subscribers in just a few months. The audience is out there, perhaps not quite understanding why these shows aren't feeding their nostalgic hunger. Instead, they become irritated, confused, or bored by content that should have them reveling in youthful exuberance. It's basically what he's saying is, some people don't even understand why this stuff sucks. You're like, wait a minute, I'm watching Star Wars, right? Like, how come I'm not loving it? Like, what's the matter? Why do I feel empty after watching the Star Wars, even though I love Star Wars? Like, why do I feel empty inside after I watch it? Well, you have channels that have been out there and explaining it. So what's Shad's answer? First, he wrote a fantasy novel, Shadow of the Conqueror, and through nothing more than his channel, he sold upwards of 50,000 copies of his first work of fiction. An astonishing first outing for any writer, proof that his audience is hungry for stories that aren't pushing a leftist agenda. Precisely. And just to go back to like his channel itself, like his channel is actually good, and those channels are needed, okay? Because just like they said, the mainstream media is not going to cover this stuff, okay? They're not going to cover this stuff. So we're going to need like the nerdrotics, the geeks and gamers, the critical drinkers. Those are the guys that are going to have to give this stuff a boost. Okay. They're going to have to give Eric July a boost. They're going to have to give Shadiversity a boost. Okay. Because these other mainstream folks won't cover it. So it's important to make those guys as big, if not bigger than the mainstream pundits that are out there. Okay. And you guys have the power to do it. And the more you grow, hey, look, YouTube likes money. Okay, at the end of the day, YouTube likes money. So the more they see, oh, everybody's subscribing to this, everybody's in this channel, they're going to be less and less inclined to just shut it down and be like, we don't want to shadow ban that, because a lot of people watch that stuff. And that's more money in our pockets, okay? Nah, keep it going. They're going to have to, okay? Because eventually money talks, all right? Money talks. If you got a big enough channel, so if you send everybody up over millions and millions of subs, they ain't going to have no choice. They're going to have to let these guys, and then that's where the mainstream becomes legit. That's where once those guys become mainstream, okay? Once those guys have the biggest channels on YouTube, okay? Then the tide turns, all right? Because now the biggest channels on YouTube are covering what? The Rippaverse. The biggest channels on YouTube are covering Shadow of the Conqueror. That's what you want. You want the biggest channels covering the stuff that the mainstream isn't going to cover, okay? That's part 2 of the parallel economy. I'll never tell you how to spend your money. I'll never tell you what to do with your time, all right? You do what you like, all right? I believe in that. But in my opinion, the culture war is really a battle of 2 fronts, right? We're battling 2 different fronts. You know, we have like a couple of like theaters of war, if you will, okay? We got like the European theater and the Pacific theater, like in World War II, right? That's the 2 fronts that are being contested right now. And the first theater is really just the critiques, okay? You guys critiquing the garbage. You use memes, you use ridicule, you use your shame and your mockery. You just come at it, destroy their pathetic nonsense, drop comments in the articles, let them know how you feel, and do it point by point by point. That's the beauty of it, because that's what hurts them. You know, if yes, yeah, the review bombing, legitimate form of criticism. I won't take that away. But when you hit them with the points, right? Boom, 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 and you explain it blow by blow. This is why this sucks. This is why your show is trash. This is why this movie is garbage, okay? That's powerful, okay? Because now you combine that with the review bombing, and then everybody says, yay, maybe Rings of Power really does suck. That's how it works. Everybody said it sucked. This guy is over here giving me complete legitimate analysis, blow by blow, bang, 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 bang. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even thought about that. Wow, this show does suck, okay? It makes it all come together. And the reality is, all you're doing is just defending the legacy of a franchise that you helped build, that you actually built, you loved, and you supported. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then the other theater I would say is this theater, right? The theater of alternatives, building out the parallel economy, building up the YouTube channels that need to be built up, buying the merch, purchasing the books, spreading the word, and maybe even creating it if you're creative enough. Because look, not everybody's going to be able to play on both sides, right? You know, some people will be like, well, I got money, I can put it into buying these books and this and that. Some guys like, hey, I don't have money like that, but I can sure come in here and comment and, you know, drop memes and do all of that. There's both sides of this thing, okay? Some of you guys will be in the Pacific, some of you guys will be in the European theater, but we both need to do what we got to do to win the culture war. It's going to take everybody. It's this last line that I think is really going to make a big difference. It's through the culture that ideals are formed in young minds, where we learn what it means to be heroic and virtues like self-sacrifice, honor, duty, and courage. It's through culture that we shape the future of political landscape that will determine how much tyranny we allow into our lives. And I think this part right here, especially talking about forming in young minds. You know, those of us that are parents, you might not be a parent yet, but if you are, you know, your culture is what made you who you are. And that's what also moves your kids, okay? Like the music that they listen to, the movies that they watch, that stuff is what shapes your children and their minds, okay? And you might think, that's no big deal, man. That's just innocent stuff because I can see all through all the nonsense. Yeah, maybe you can, but your kids can't, okay? You're not with them 24/7. So what are they watching, you know? And it's like this, like the way folks in my community don't have a value for human life like they should, that crap comes from the culture. Okay, that's strictly from the culture. That's why we got to fight it. Okay, and yes, entertainment is absolutely one of the first places where culture originates. So you gotta win the culture war. But anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? You know, the culture war is real, right? And it's fought on the internet. That's the battlefield, right? So, you know, and I'm not telling you again how to spend your money. You do whatever you want to do with your money. It's your money. It's your time, and you are entitled to that. Okay. But you just got to understand that there's another side of this war, and it has to be built, okay? The parallel economy must be built, okay? Subscriptions to these guys on YouTube that are going to be the alternate form of media, the alternate form of reviewers, that's legit. Not only that, the guys like Shad and Rippaverse and everybody else that's a content creator that's out there creating original, unique IPs to try to drop that into the entertainment space and get people to watch and read and everything. That's also a legitimate thing. Support where you can. Figure out what theater that you're going to be in and jump in with both guns blazing. But anyway, folks, go ahead. Leave me your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below. And thanks for watching. See you next time.